Okay, I'm back. I'm live. I was having too much fun in the shower. I'm not gonna lie. I had the Brandy and the Monica playlist from last night. Oh girl, I was in the shower live.
You're
Look,
so
you know you was trying to
ugly.
do that this morning.
No,
That
I
was the
wasn't.
vibe you were on.
I wasn't. I
Why
didn't even.
not?
I haven't watched it. I haven't watched
Get your
it.
shit.
I wasn't. I was tired last night. I was like, I'm not entertaining this right now.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Uprooted
I just keep
podcast.
steady on my magic. Do my thing, I'm healing, it's fantastic. If I fall, rise automatic. You ain't known that, you know. I'm the one raise myself like a tree from the roots. West side girl, cause she lit in the coast. East side girl when she speaks to the roots. Stay 100 cause she on with the truth. Been there on struggle, know that it pass. Only going up, yeah, the pain don't last. Ooh, take off. Ooh, take off. Ooh, take off. This is take off, take off, take off. Shorty like Brandy, fight like Monica. What you know about her? Baby girl raising, way to the top. Shaking the world, don't expect her to stop. Purpose so great, she get what she got. Follow her stay, cause she following God. What you need more, got a heart full of gold. Even at times when it's raining and cold. Ooh, she bout to take off. Ooh, she bout to take off.
Welcome to. Okay, let me pull it back together. Woo! Okay. The show must go on. So, welcome back, everybody, to the Uprooted Podcast. It's your girl, Hannah, aka Ruta. I am so happy to be here with you guys, and thank you so much for following the page. I hope that it's bringing some positivity and light into your life. So, today we have a very special guest who I love and adore, and I am sharing a little bit of her with you because normally I'm very protective of the people I love, but she is amazing, and I know that like you are all going to be like so happy that I brought her on. So this none other than my beautiful little, I call her little, you call her Desiree. So let's make that clear. I don't want to see nobody in the comments talking about, oh, you're little. No, you call her Desiree. I call her little. Okay, that's how this works. But yes, she is amazing and beautiful and everything. And I want her to just go ahead and tell the audience like a little bit about who you are.
So, like you said, my name's Desiree. I'm from Los Angeles. My big and I met, of course, at San Jose State.
SJSU?
Right. I now live in San Jose and work here. I'm a nonprofit professional that like specializes in like corporate responsibility and making sure people show up for the community and under-resourced community in San Jose. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Amen to that. She making it sound real, like she's trying to sound low key, but her job is actually hard. Like
it's hard as hell.
It's actually hard. She's really trying to downplay herself. But let me go ahead and hype her back up because this girl in the nonprofit world, like for real, riding for us, riding for Black people, riding for marginalized people, riding for homeless people. Like she is trying from the inside the system to like really make some change. So don't ever downplay yourself because your job is hard and you be doing it. You feel me? Matter of fact, what did you do? You exceeded your goals. Okay, exceeded, and that's what Black women do all the time. We always exceed your expectation of us. So let the church say amen to that one. The part I forgot is today. I really brought you on because season 2 for me, like season 1 of doing this, show was like, I couldn't do it from an authentic place because I was still trying to hide from myself. And so watching myself all the time, I was like, oh, girl, you got to work on that. You know what I mean? Like, cause I knew what I was feeling. And like, I thought that like I was faking it enough. But then like watching it back, I was like, oh, no. You ain't as slick as you think you are. People can definitely pick up on your energy, your mood, like the things that are going on. And I was like, I can't create from that space. You know what I mean? And I could feel it becoming a burden. It was like something that I've wanted to do for so long became a burden. And I was like, that's, I don't like that. Yeah. So I decided to stop running from myself and like actually deal with my issues, actually deal with my pain. And while I was doing that, I had to reflect on like letting go of that stuff. And then when I let go, I could see the people in my life very clearly. You know, I could see all of you for like how you lifted me up through those times, you know, how we lifted each other up through those times. And like a lot of people that are the core of my being, you know what I mean? Like we all came from places, we come from a freaking state like that really is meant to break you, you know, like it really is meant to break you. This shit is horrible. And I remember when we first, the beginning of our relationship, I was just like, I don't know who this girl is, but I love her. Like,
You're so cute.
No, you know, I was just like, I really, because you had like that, like, you know what I mean? Like, you were just light, like, you were just, you know, like, giggly and fun. And like, I was just like, she's just so adorable. Like, I just want to be like that. Like, why can't I be like, I'm always so like, you know, hard and stuff. So I was just like, oh, I just love this girl. And like, I told everyone, I was like, I don't care. That's my little, you know, I had to wait 3 years because, you know, you have to make people be patient, but you feel me?
Drink my coffee.
Yeah. But
also, thank you for the coffee.
Oh, yes, girl, because I didn't even make my cup yet. Can you imagine? This is my energy without coffee. Crazy, right? I mean, I'm gonna still drink it because I like the taste, but I didn't even need it this morning. That's how crazy my life is now. I said all of that to say, kind of just trying to like, you know, kind of build a context for it. But I think we both instinctively knew, right, that like what we were dealing with was bullshit, you know, and we had to like decide for ourselves that we wanted better. What do you feel like was your kind of turning point in that journey of like, oh, nah, this ain't for me. Like, I got to get up out of this.
I think when you like can't get out of that cloud, you know what I mean? Like literally you're at home, you're at work, you're with your friends, like in every place, like you can't like see out of the storm. And then, you know, you just have that moment where you're like, this isn't normal. Like this isn't how I should feel all the time. Like, and then I'm big on like I only let myself stay there for so long, right? Like there's always like I end up in a type of depression, but like I always have like a day where a friend says something, someone is like, what's going on? And then it clicks, right? Like it's like, oh crap, like I am going through a lot. I can't like keep allowing people to use me, right? Or you know what I mean? You just recognize it a little more. And most of the time that's all I need, right? Like I'm like, all right, I gotta go. Like you only gotta tell me once. Like
this ain't it. Okay.
Like, and so that's why I'm actually back in San Jose, because LA just wasn't safe for me. Like it wasn't safe for my sanity. It wasn't healthy for my body, like anything. Like I can't think of anything besides food. Like I love LA for the food, you know what I mean? Like
no, the food is bomb, I ain't gonna lie.
I miss the
traffic
fish market
to get to the food,
right?
The traffic to get to the food makes it almost not worth it. And then it reminds you why the hell you got out of there in the first place.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
So it's like, you know, I can't think of anything. Like when my partner and I talk about LA, we're like, what we going for? Like, ain't nothing there that makes me want to just exist in that space. Because it didn't help me thrive in any way. It didn't support my growth. It didn't move me in any way. You know what I mean? Like you can just tell it's like you're taking more than it's giving, and it's like it's not worth it. It's not. Like I just want to feel safe. You know what I mean? Like as a Black woman growing up, you don't get poured into in that way. And society makes you feel like you have to like work so hard to like just exist, right? Or deserve someone being nice to you, right?
You better say that again. Yes,
so
for real. You felt like you had to earn that.
Yeah, and it's like, hold the hell on. Like, I'm human. Like, I deserve for you to at least treat me with some type of dignity. Like, treat me at least the way you want to be treated. And if you can't do that, then I gotta go. Like, I gotta go where I know I'll be supported. And then, of course, like, I have people like you, right? Like, when you interact with family who, you know, treat you like shit, right? And then you have other people in your life who like value you and see you and like say things like, how can I support you? And you're like, I've never heard that before.
Yeah, nobody ever asked me. I don't even know what I need help with.
I don't know. I've always had to do it by myself. I have no clue. So when you get a glimpse of life without the drama and life without the like the hurt and the clouds and like all that, it's just like, I'm gonna go over there. Like I'm gonna find something that feels a little better. Yeah, exactly.
This is where it's at. I felt that same way. I love the Bay, and I love coming home and seeing everyone that I love there. But I do not miss seeing the poverty everywhere, seeing the people that I love struggling, because that city has broken people in so many ways. And like, for people moving there, you know, because they got a cushy job, like, cool, bet, like, you know what I mean? But for those of us who grew up there, we've like transitioned with the city, and the city did us dirty. You know what I mean? Like, it really did. And it took a long time to see, like, oh, you don't have to be this hard person. Like, you don't have to you don't have to bring out your masculine energy all day long. Like, that shit is so exhausting, bro.
You don't have to be on guard all the time.
I forgot. Like, I really, because I've been in Denver for long enough that I didn't even realize my armor was gone. Right. Like, I hadn't even realized it had slowly disappeared, right? Because like time and time again, like the love that I got here, the people that surround me, like were just like that validation that like what I had felt, you know what I mean? That like all that shit was just not normal or healthy. Like, it really wasn't. I wasn't like delusional. I wasn't mad for no reason. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like there was absolutely a reason why I was mad, because that shit was toxic. And for better or worse, like, you know, with the podcast is Uprooted, right? So I'm talking about me literally being taken from my home, you know, with my parents, and like starting a new life here. And then like leaving San Jose, I felt like I did it again, because like my parents, for better or worse, what they taught me by like leaving is that like you don't have to stay somewhere where you're not safe, right? So like I left, and then a lot of my roots that I've been building here and like my life with them, and even in America, like I realized like I'm not a one-dimensional person. I don't just have like one type of friend. I've had an abundance of people that have like poured into me at different like stages of my life. And then I remember like we started going on this kind of self-healing journey around the same time. And it was beautiful, because it was like you were having a breakthrough and I'd have one, and then you know, and we would go back and forth, and like, okay, so what you going through? I just need to cry today. Okay, bitch, come on. Like, you know what I mean? What we crying about? You know what I mean? I cry with you, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we crying about? And
for sure, like, crying all the time. Yeah.
And I knew, and as sad as it was, I wasn't going to get that in my community, because that wasn't anything that we did. Like, it was never encouraged. I was taught to stop crying, because I was such a crybaby when I was little, which is stupid. Every kid cries, because how do they communicate? Like,
exactly.
They don't have words. They're not crying because they're annoying. They're crying because they don't know how to express themselves. So,
and you like, feel things.
Yes, you have feelings. You are allowed to have feelings.
Yes,
and your feelings will not kill you. You can be sad for 5 minutes and go back to your day.
Absolutely.
Like God, like, you know, just, you know, unpacking that was the best thing ever. Because now I cry all the time. Like, same. I cried this morning. I woke up and cried this morning for no reason. No reason. I was like, God, you know, I'm appreciative. I'm so grateful, but can we stop with the tears? Like, just in the morning. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I just woke up. How am I already crying? I was like, you know what? You're just so grateful. You're in such a beautiful place in your life right now that like you just have to let it all out.
Yep.
So
and
I've
your
been
body doesn't want to hold it.
No, it really doesn't. And I was like, all right, fine. And it lasted 2 seconds and it was over. And I was like, all right, cool. And I got up and exercised and like went about my day. And there was something really beautiful in like that process with us being able to do that for each other. Cause I don't think that we would have like really survived without having that space. You know what I mean? Like we would like, I feel like, I could say for me personally that I think that I would have been at a turning point. Like, if I came to Denver and I didn't start healing and I didn't start like really investing in myself, then I would have went deeper into like that hardcore person that I was. And like, I was just been angry and bitter and I would have looked around and like been pissed at everybody in the world.
Yeah.
And there was something that I don't remember what the breakthrough was. We was talking about a lot of stuff. And then you were like, you're going to be, you're like my accountability partner. And I said, you're what? Mm-hmm. I said, I don't know what that is, but okay. Like, I don't know that. I was like, I ain't never heard that term before. Mm-hmm. So can you kind of like explain what that meant and like how that kind of manifested into our relationship?
Yeah. I think we're both similar in the sense that we need to feel needed, right? But also we need to feel like in order for us to get stuff done, it needs to be for someone else. Like we weren't in a place where we were important enough to just exist,
do it
right?
For ourselves. Yeah.
Like it needed, I know myself enough to know like for me it started, I need to know like I'm doing this for my big, right? Like I'm showing up for her. And then it like manifests into stuff for me. But like I need to trick my brain because naturally I just wanna like please people. Like I just want everyone to be happy and give you what you want and like all those things. So in order for me
though? Because it wasn't naturally we were taught that the only way that we got love is when we made other people happy. So it was not natural.
Yeah.
That's
all. Funny. That's funny you say that because I was actually talking to my cousin this morning that my toxic trait is that I learned to smile and be happy or show that I'm happy in order to stay safe, right? Like,
oh yeah,
I smile and if I'm nice and I act like everything's okay, you're not going to bully me. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to like you're not going to be mean right now, right?
Yeah,
like,
because why would you be mean to the happy person?
Exactly, like, right? Like, if everything's fine with Desiree, like, why would I try and be mean? That was my thought process, I guess. Which is BS. But
I could have told you that, like, the person who was angry, I was like, "Why are you so happy?" Like,
exactly. You know? But I wasn't, right? It was just my smile is just something that's on my face. That doesn't actually mean that I'm happy, right? Now it does. But at the time, it was just, I had no other face. I had no other emotion because I didn't have the opportunity to have any other emotion. So I think having you for me, it was like, oh, she got other emotions. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have someone who I can actually like be sad with. I have someone I can actually like at least say I'm upset because I was never given that space as a kid to be upset, be sad, be anything but you content, you fine. You know,
you good, right?
You good.
Like, you don't need
you're fine.
Like the less you needed, the better it was for them.
Exactly. Like, and the less drama you had, right? Like when you're living in a space that is always turmoil and like your parents are always fighting or people are always arguing, like you learn mechanisms to survive that. And I just feel like that messed me up as an adult because people continue to treat you that way, right? Like they continue to view you as she's fine. She's been fine.
All the time.
I can give I can throw anything at Desiree and she's gonna have that smile on her face. So why do I care? And that was the normal. And I think both of us, in different ways, right? But had to put on some type of armor to like survive. And we just realized at the same time that shit ain't cool. Like, I have other emotions. I can have other emotions.
Yeah, like this
and I am
trash.
having them. I'm like having them within myself and have no idea how to deal with them. But I also like, we also have to say, like, we went to therapy too. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we like,
this is therapy talk. In
right,
case
exactly.
The way we sound real good now. Okay, we sound real good now. We're gonna make that real clear for the audience. This is what you sound like after therapy,
exactly.
Okay, not before.
A lot of therapy.
Not before.
You know? A lot of therapy and a lot of like people being like, "You're not wrong." Like, like you can have emotions. You can have feelings. You can like have a bad day. You can, you know, wake up and just not feel good. Or, you know, like I have anxiety issues and I never was able to understand what that was. Cause again, gotta have that shield on.
Yeah.
But inside,
you ain't got time to be anxious. You just gotta go.
Exactly. But then you do, right? Like in your body
you carry it.
Carrying that, emotions still exist and they come out in different ways, right? So like you know, my body was giving up on me and I was like, I wasn't able to like exist in the way that I wanted to, right? So that goes back to like every facet of your life is starting to fall apart and you're just like, something has to change.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yo, you going through this too? Like, you trying to do this together?
Yeah.
And it was perfect.
I was just like, okay, cool. Yeah, we can do that because this is a lot. It's a lot. Like, I'm on this side of it and I'm like, ooh, like, you know, like I'd be tired, you know, like, and you just be sitting there, you just be numbing out. And I just was like, I recognize like, one, the weight gain was insane because anyone who knows me knows I can't even eat that much. Like, I literally have this bowl sitting next to me. I haven't even touched it yet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't even. I got wings the other day, little. I had 3 and I was full. I was so mad because they were so good. Like, I wanted to eat them, but I was full. And then I realized too, like, I think that sometimes African parents go way too hard with the whole food thing because, like, they were tired of the starving African, you know what I mean? Like a stereotype or whatever. And I used to make fun of them. I was like, hey, I know y'all struggle when you was younger, but we good. We don't gotta eat this much all the time. Goddamn, like
portion control,
like there's no such thing. It was like, I don't even let people make my plates for me anymore because they literally put on like that's for 3 people. Like there's no way I can finish that and figure out that I'm allergic to wheat the whole time. So y'all literally making my body sick because like I literally am allergic to it, but nobody's even paying attention or they're listening because I would complain so much. Like, bro, they're like, why do you always like anytime I would eat, I'll just be like, ugh, like, you know, and they're like, oh, you just be getting lazy. I'm like, no, it's not lazy. I really feel uncomfortable. Like my body is not processing this food. And I never got a food allergy test. So like I realized when you're born here, like in the US, they do a food allergy test for newborns. But if you're not born here, then you don't get that test. You know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't a thing. Like it really wasn't a thing. Like people were trying to survive. They weren't thinking about past survival. Right. So now that like what I tell my parents all the time is y'all survived already. Like my job now is to push us forward and to thrive. You know what I mean? And as much as I love you, like there's some things that you just will never understand because you never had the opportunity to, right? Like, and so you couldn't teach me it. So now the dynamic is different where like, you know, for us, it's like, we've been through this stuff. Like we've done the work, we've like figured out the resources and it's still it's a journey. It's an everyday journey, like literally every day. I finally understand why the pastors be saying, you got to die. You got to be willing to die to yourself every day. I was like, that, what? That am I, huh? Like, I was like, you want me to die to myself every day and become a new person the next day? I don't understand. How the hell you do that? But it's really the idea that you like it's like a snake. You let go of the old skin because it doesn't serve you anymore. You don't need it. And the best thing is like having other people that are doing it at the same time, whether they're consciously doing it or not. When I look back at like everyone around me, like the ones that were core, like in college, you know what I mean? Because I feel like college was really the pivotal point, right? Because we were finally out of our homes and like on our own. We'd already been on our own, like mentally, but now we were physically on our own, and we were around people, and we had mentors, and we had like other people that were like, dude, that's not normal. And you you were validated because you lived with people, and you would be like, y'all are just so like, and then you realize, oh no, you didn't actually have to grow up that fast. So you learning how to do laundry now is like actually normal. Like, you know what I mean? Like those things are just like, you know what I mean? Like, you remember the laundry room was always flooded. Somebody didn't never put the right amount of stuff. Anyways, that's a tangent, but it's just one of those things that you realize, like, okay. And I looked around, and it was like everyone around us was kind of on like that. You could tell, like freshman year, you could tell people would be all hyped. They're trying to go out. They're trying to do like, oh, I have freedom. And then you kind of see like everyone kind of is like a harsh person at first. Like they have like you checking out everybody. You trying to see, oh, who cool, who not cool, whatever. Like you used to that. If you grew up in the hood, you're used to that. You don't just walk around and be friends with everybody. You got to know like what you're getting into. And then you kind of notice like second, third year, fourth year, that people really like their walls were just down because they realized they were hella unnecessary. Like you just connect with people. You would have like 3-hour conversations with people hella randomly. And like, it was so therapeutic because you never had that space. And then it was like, you got out of that college bubble, and I was like, oh shit, I got to recreate this. Like, how the hell do you do that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you take that with you? And so the accountability partners and like actually like maintaining those friendships, because it is maintenance, you know what I mean? It really is. And that is like so detrimental to like us being okay. Like we can go through storms, we can go through that because we have people that will pick us back up. Like, okay, that was enough. You had enough time with your crying and your grief. Like, let's come on. Let's pull it back together because we got shit to do. And we got, I don't really have that many, but we got bills. You feel me? Like, we got goals. You can't build a family. You can't do all these things that you say you want to do if you don't take care of yourself. And that was a blessing.
Absolutely.
Blessing. Let me pull up. So I've been posting a lot of memes. They're not even like memes though, because they're like actually real, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like they're like, they're true statements. They're just not like, they're concepts, but they're not fully thought out. So the reason like they all touch some of us is because we know what the hell they're talking about, because we already been through it, or we've already gone to therapy and our therapist already told us. You know what I mean? But other people, they might read it and not get it because they haven't done that work yet. So one that I had posted the other day that I thought like me and you could really get into. So this one said, don't validate your pain so much that you don't make space for your healing. And that one like hit hard because it was just like, oh, I've been doing that. I've been doing that for a long time. And like, I knew what forgiveness was as a concept. I understood it. I had plenty of people keep telling me like, you just have to forgive. You have to forgive. I was like, forgive them. Like they're not even sorry that they hurt me. I'm gonna forgive you, but you're not sorry. Like that don't make sense. And I was like, shit. Okay, well, forgive, but I ain't forgetting. And that's like, you're not really forgiving them because you're still holding on to it. And I remember I had a great therapist, and he had like said the quote to me that when you hold on to anger, it's like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. And I said, huh. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it finally clicked for me. So then when I saw this, I was like, oh, I still have been doing it. Like, I thought I had let go of stuff, and I understood, and like, I could forgive things, like little things, but because I had suppressed so many other things,
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
girl, when I was back home visiting y'all a couple weeks
Mm-hmm.
ago, Nick, when I tell you I was crying every day because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize what I needed to like let go of, and
Mm-hmm.
going home, like seeing the physical places and like actually letting myself remember those things, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, thank God I'm not that person no more. Like,
Mm-hmm.
thank God he pulled me out of it, because
Mm-hmm.
I could have ended up like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that? I'm not gonna read it again, but how do you feel about like that applying to your life?
I think a good example is like I haven't spoken to my father since the day after Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And he, so I moved to San Jose in October of last year. We cool, we good, like not good, but you know what I mean? Like we have a weird relationship, but like I talk to my parents. I've always talked to my parents like every day. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
always been our thing just because I'm the youngest. For some reason, I have a lot of responsibility. We ain't got to get into that, but that's just my life. And me and my mom are definitely, she's my like best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And the day after Christmas, he stopped answering my calls.
Yeah.
And what that did for me was allowed me to stop trying and
Mm.
understand the fact how one-sided our relationship had been for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
But also it allowed me to have the space to actually forgive him and let go of like the pain associated with that relationship, because I feel
Mm.
like I was always trying to make it work, right? Like, so I never
Yeah.
validated my feelings. I never, like, I knew, like, I'll make a joke,
Yeah.
like we'll be like mental illness, like, you know what I mean? And like, we'll make a joke about it, but we don't really like tap in and say, like, how did his behavior really affect me, right? Or
Yeah.
how does the way he decides to treat me versus my other siblings, or how he treats me and my mom, or how he treats my mom in general, right? Like all these
Mm-hmm.
dynamics that affect you, but you
Yep.
you push it aside because it's your dad, right?
Yeah.
And then it was just like cool, like it hurt. I'm not gonna say it didn't hurt that my dad
Yeah.
stopped talking to me, but it gave me this, like I said, it gave me that space to really like heal from all the issues, but also acknowledge all those issues,
Yeah.
and then work on them, right? And then now I can sit very comfortably in the fact that I'm not pressed about it. And I can say that with a straight face. Like, I have been the happiest and the most sane without my dad in my life. I have
Yeah. That's
been
a big realization.
the most aware of my needs than I've ever been in my life because I always
Mm-hmm.
think about them first. Always.
Mm-hmm.
Any decision I ever make, I'm like,
How does it
okay,
affect my parents?
how does it
Yeah.
affect my parents? How does it affect my family? How does it affect everyone else before me? And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, no, like, I can't do that
Girl.
anymore because no one is thinking about me first.
Yeah.
Nobody. And like,
Yeah.
and then I'm also not thinking about me first. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
that's ridiculous. I just can't do that anymore. Um, but so his birthday is in July. And so what I decided to do was write a letter, um,
Ooh.
to one, like let it go. Cause once you put it on paper, it's real.
Yeah.
And I like, how you're in the shower and you're thinking real
You have,
hard.
yeah, you
I'm
having a
like, this
conversation with
is what I'm gonna
yourself. Okay, I'm
say.
about to
Like,
go in there and I'm about to do
right,
this.
right,
Talking about Issa Rae in the mirror. You be in the
yes,
shower.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And when I sat down and wrote it, like started writing it, it was like, I'm not giving him all this energy. I don't have this
Yeah.
energy for him. Like
Mm-mm.
the letter turned into like, yo, I'm not really fucking with you like that. Like, I really hope you cool. Um,
Yeah.
this is an update on my life. Like, I'm glad you made it to his birthday. Like,
Yeah.
I have an older father, so the fact that he's even has
Still
made it to this
here.
age
Yeah.
is fantastic. But that doesn't mean
Yeah.
I have to interact with you. Like, that doesn't mean that, like, you being in my life is necessary in that way. But that doesn't mean I don't deem you important. I don't deem your life and your existence important. And I'm sending you love. Like, at the end, I put like an update on my partner and I. Like, at the time we were considering moving.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like, and making it, like, writing it just made, like, I let it go. Like, it was like, oh, I have actually forgiven him. I have actually let it go. But also, like, I know now the issues I have, right? I still got issues.
Yeah.
But
you can connect, but you can, like, what that was for me is like that same letting go. So like every day in the bay, go somewhere, cry it out, let it go, and be like, that was it. That was the past. It doesn't exist anymore. So like you're holding on to feelings 20 years later that like do not, like, that moment has passed, girl. It has passed. So you have to just let it go. And like when I was like visually, because I seen something online, right? And it was like visually, when you let it go, there's like a string. And it's like when you decide that you let it go, you cut the string. And so like it still exists. The other piece of the string still exists, but it's no longer tethered to you. So you can like push forward. And like what that also did was clear my vision. So I could connect the dots of like, since I carried that for so long, I saw how it played out in like other scenarios and other relationships, and like, oh, that's what projecting was. Like I catch myself now. You know what I mean? Like I really catch myself now, but I'm projecting. Okay, hold on, let me come back. And I've had to fix how I talk to people. You know, shout out to Rahel and Azeb, like my girls would be like, yeah, ooh, sometimes you be saying stuff real. I was like, oh, you right, okay. But yeah, I gotta catch myself in those moments. But it's like this beautiful thing where you can now look at your life from a lens of like, oh, that, ooh, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, okay, all right, okay, well, that happened. I even apologize to myself. Like, I'm sorry you had to go through that, because no one ever apologized to you. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm sorry. You know, that hit, huh? I'm not. Yeah, I really do. I'll be talking to myself.
I think I need to do that, because I haven't done that, because I think
it's life changing.
It hurts.
Oh yeah.
Think of the fact that like nobody has apologized. No one has said like, damn, Desiree, like you was working really hard and doing all this and doing all that, and I was fucking up. But like, you know, no one acknowledged it. No one is like,
nobody did. But I mean, why would
Desiree,
they?
You
we
almost
didn't
died?
acknowledge it.
Oh, well, like, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't matter.
There was nights where I came home and I was just like, I don't know how I made it home. And you know, it's just one of those things, like you know how like that there's all these sayings of like, the one that hurt you is not going to be the one that heals you. You know what I mean? Like, you waiting for an apology that you're not going to get, and like you're holding on to that, you know what I mean? And that's stopping you from moving on. And so I was like, you know what? I can apologize to myself, because for two reasons. One, that it happened, right? And that you were hurt as a child. So like, I'm really like saying sorry to the little girl version of me, right? I'm sorry that you were unsafe. I'm sorry that the world put you in that place, like whatever the case is, you know? And then I say sorry to myself again for holding on to it for so long. So like, it's a double apology. So like earlier I was telling you, like I went on that Let It Go tour when I was home, like my past home. And then coming here, oh, I'm getting static. That's so weird. Do you hear it? So weird. I hope it doesn't come through on the thing. But yeah, so let me go back. So, yeah, I was like, wait a minute. Is that static? Okay.
I'm done with you.
Anyways, the point was, I went on the Let It Go tour, and then coming back here, like back to my new home, and like I am back on the apology tour, but not apologize. Like I was telling you earlier, I'm not apologizing because like I feel so guilty and I just want, oh my God, I just gotta say sorry. Like it's not like that. It's not that. It's like literally I like acknowledge like the pain. If I need to cry, I cry. You know what I mean? And then like I really just let myself feel whatever I'm feeling, and I apologize, and I thank myself too for being the person that I had to be to get through that. Because like that person still protected me from more harm. You know what I mean? Like, and like by doing that, because I've seen that on somebody else's thing. I don't know. I be following everything, girl. Because I be thirsty for healing, so I be really just watching everything.
Yo, you'll see in like, I don't know if I'm gonna post it today or tomorrow, but you'll see. I got you. We on the same page.
Yeah, I'll be in there. I'll be like, ooh, that sounds like it might work. I'm gonna try that, And so I did it, and it really worked, because I was like, wow, thank you so much for protecting me to get me to this place. Like, I acknowledge that version of myself, and I thank her, and I tell her, it's okay. You ain't got to do it no more. I got us. You know what I mean? Like, I got us. Like, we're good. Like, all versions of myself, I'll be talking to myself. So I'm like, all versions of me, we're good. Like, I will do whatever we need to do. And like, if something does happen again, you know what I mean? Not if, when something bad happens, right? Like, because it's just a matter of time.
It's life. Yep.
You know what I mean? When life hits you, it's okay. Yep. You are strong enough and you have the skills to actually move past it. Like, you know what you need to do to take care of yourself in that moment. And like, I'm able to grieve faster. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I don't have to sit in it for so long. And then I'm not scared of it coming back. Like, if I miss that person, like I have too many people that I've lost in my life to not miss somebody. You know what I mean? So like, if I think about that person, I'm just like, I miss you, And then I just kind of like let that moment happen. Like, even just saying that out loud, I just thought of my grandma, because I got out the shower. I'm really tired of crying on this podcast. Okay. So, no, I know, but it just be like, I'll be trying to look cute and it'd be fucking up my makeup, and then I got shit to do after this. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, the point is, I got out the shower and I looked at my tattoo and I was like, I miss my grandma. Like, I wish I had more time with her to really get to know the person that she was. But also, like, I acknowledge that she's still here with me. Like, I might not be able to see her physically, but I get to like live my life in honor of her. You know what I mean? Like, she didn't die for no reason. She didn't like, she built a family, a legacy, and like, by us living our life, like, her spirit is still carried on. So it's just like this beautiful, like, process. I'm like, okay, like, I can do this. Like,
we can absolutely
really can.
Absolutely.
And it was just like, so if we're breaking this into two parts of the conversation, you have the let it go part, and then you have like the apologizing, or better yet, the accountability piece to it, right?
Yeah.
So like, taking accountability is a big thing. And I think for us too, because we be mad that other people don't ever apologize to us. And that was the other part for me, was like, damn, I need to apologize too. If that hurt me, you know what I mean? Then I know I've hurt some people. And I think the reason I didn't want to take accountability was because I didn't want to acknowledge that I was the person that hurt somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, because I've been hurt so much that like, I'm like, wow, I turned into that. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had to take accountability and like, be like, wow, you're the villain in some people's story.
Yep.
And that was hard. Like, that hit me hard in the chest. I was like, oh my God, I really hurt that person. And so I've been like calling people, texting them, whatever ways that I can like reach out to them, because I'm like, dude, I don't ever want to be that person. And I like can't, like, I'm so sorry that I was that person in your life. And like, I don't expect forgiveness. Like, I'm not even apologizing so that you forgive me so that I feel better. Yeah. But like, because you deserve an apology, you know what I mean? And like, I can take accountability for that.
Yep. Because how we show up is important, right? Like, we have to be the person we also want to see in the world. So like, but that's hard work, right? Like,
hella hard work.
Showing
hella hard work.
Being vulnerable, being honest, right? Like, because I can say like I'm used to being powerless. Like, my normal is feeling as if I don't have a voice, right? My normal is like, I'll just walk away. Like, I'll just, like, you wanna be that person? Oh, it's me, right? But
I'll
like,
walk away all the time too.
all the time. That's normal, easy, no
Hell
problem.
easy.
Deuces.
Yeah.
But
I was like, oh, you acting up. Okay, we out.
Yep, exactly,
We
no
out.
problem.
Like,
but that's not healthy either, right? Like,
hell no, it's
speaking
not.
my truth, and making sure I'm heard is just necessary at this point. And like, it's really huge in where I'm at in life right now. Like, for example, my job search, and finding, well, you know, but I'm moving in a month, actually.
It's
So I'll
coming,
be
girl.
getting,
I'm
I
so
know.
excited. I'm over here excited. Like, I'm sorry, where are we moving to?
You're so
Because, you know, I'll be
silly.
visiting. So I'll be like, where are we moving to? Because I'm trying to be there too. But yes.
So we're moving to Seattle. But I was so intentional about the process and overly honest, right? Like in the interview, I'm like, this is who I am. This is what I need. This is how I need to be supported. This is how I show up in spaces. Like, it's the first time that I've ever been vocal. But also leaving my job, like my resignation, this has been the most honest I've been too, right? Like, before I gave my resignation, I did this long email, like, just saying out loud the ways that I've been mistreated and the ways, and saying it very specifically, like, no, we're not beating around the bush. I'm not being nice about it, because I always put a bow on it, right? Like, you hurt me, but it's okay. You made me feel small, but it's okay. Like, I survived. And it's like, no.
And I was the opposite. I was like,
right.
The fuck? Like, I'll come in hard, like, hell no. Because, you know, I'm an older sister. So, like, I've been taught to be the protector. So, like, that was, like, naturally, I think, what I gravitated with you. I was like, they're not about to play with her no more. I'm tired of this shit. Like, I don't know who I gotta fight. But, like, I will really fuck somebody up. Like, I'm really, like, you know, I'm not a violent person, but shit. For the people I love, I might have to be. You know what I mean? Because I'm about sick and tired. But anyway, sorry.
No, but for
you
sure,
sent the email.
Like, I'm just sensitive in that way, and I don't like. I realize that another toxic trait is, like, I keep people at arm's length, right? Like, that's why. I think that's also why when we work out, like, we ain't got to be up under each other like that. Like, we ain't got to be in each other's phones every day, like, all that stuff. But also, that's toxic in the sense of, I'm not letting you get too close. Like, because then you can't actually hurt me. And I do that in most of my relationships. Friendships, colleagues, everything. It's like, they think we best friends because they tell me the world, but they don't know shit about me because I'm not giving you all that. And I usually do that in work situations. At a detriment to me, because then people don't know what I'm actually struggling with, right? Like, no one knows, like, I'm having issues paying my rent every month, right? Like, I'm not getting paid enough to pay my rent, pay the bills, and put food on the table. Like, these are real life issues that are happening, and I'm dealing with them alone, right? Like no one outside of the household knows these things, right? And it's like, that's an issue. Like, how am I overworked, overproducing, and
underpaid, and not making ends meet? Yeah, shit is trash.
Still have to do, like, extra things, right? Like, still have to do all this other stuff and take extra jobs, and it's just like, that's ridiculous.
Bro, we shouldn't have to work that hard. Like, and the fact that there's this narrative in this country that, like, you have to work hard to be successful. I'm like, the fuck? For what? Like, technology literally makes it so that we could feed the whole fucking world. But, like, we really want people to earn their food? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that just, you know, me and you could go into a whole nother fucking episode about that. But it's really, like, this is us being able to talk about it because we're, like, blessed enough to not, like, be on the streets.
Yep.
But when you grow up knowing that like you are a paycheck or 2 paychecks away from being in the streets, it creates this like I don't even know the words for it, but it just makes you feel so fucking unsafe.
It's scarcity
all the time.
It's that scarcity mindset. You're always in the scarcity, and you're always on the defense because you have no idea what's going to happen the next week.
And then they wonder like why women, and you know, they make that the stereotype of like, oh, she's a gold digger. When you're broke, bro, like that's your only goal is to not ever be broke again. Like, you know what I mean? And then you realize like you have to do hella work for like, because I could have easily been a gold digger. That's not a problem. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, no offense.
You already know.
You know what I'm saying? No offense to the men out here, but if you think that like, you know, let me not even go into that because that's going to be a whole different topic. But the point is, when you are literally, you know what I'm saying? Like, it took me so long to understand that. Like, I was just not with anybody who was not trying to be stable. You know what I mean? Like, if you weren't goal driven, if you weren't trying to get money, if you weren't trying to like make it, I was just not attracted to you. Like, I was just like, bro, for what? So we could be broke together? Like, that shit don't make sense. And like, you know, in college, that kind of got broken down. And then I started like, I've always loved people for their potential, but I started to realize like, oh, actually you guys can just grow together. Like you guys can build together and like you can be stable. You don't actually have to be like mega rich. Like you can just like work on stability, and like stability means something different to every person. You know what I mean? I have no aspirations of being like the richest person in the room or whatever. Like my only aspiration is like, how many other people can I help? Right? Like by whatever means necessary. If I have to have money to motivate some people to pay attention to me, right? So that they listen to what I'm saying and they still get healing. Okay, fine. But I'm not chasing the money. I'm chasing whatever is going to get you to get out of your own way. And that is, I think, the biggest shift in us. And I think that's why we like, it doesn't matter what else is going on around us, because like at the core, we have like values that align that it makes it so easy to be in a relationship, you know? Absolutely. And also, let me just take a minute. Like, we are probably one of the first healthy relationships in, at least for my life. You know what I mean? Don't get all emotional. But like, when I really think about it, there wasn't...
You're so annoying. I can't do it. All right. Thanks for that.
I know my little. I mean, you can be emotional. I'm letting you know that I'm about to be mushy and that I'm forewarning you. You feel me?
Thank you.
So when I really think about that, because when we are in a relationship with each other because we want to be, not because we have to be, right? Yes. So there's the first layer of why, like, and even me and my dad talked about this, and like that's a value I know I get from him, is that like your friends really can become your family. Like a lot of the aunts and uncles I have are not blood related to me. Right. So like I did have that instilled in me, but I didn't choose them. You know what I mean? I love them, but I didn't choose them. So like with your friends, it's like, these are the people you choose to love. And like the fact that you didn't have an expectation of who I had to be in your life was like really freeing, because then I was just myself. Like, and I like didn't realize that until like much later. I was like, oh, other people don't see this side of me. And I was like, because you don't allow me to be that. You know what I mean? Like, and then they wonder, they're like, well, you're always this way with me. I'm like, because that's how you treat me. As anyways, like it's a whole thing. And so I want to appreciate you in that moment for allowing that space, because I needed that, because I wouldn't have figured out who I was, like if I had to keep being that for everybody. You know what I mean?
Same actually. I was thinking about that. You know, I go on morning walks pretty much every day, and that's like my meditative space and also like my exercise, but that's when I get like my thinking done. And I was thinking about our relationship, and I was like, oh, I'm getting emotional.
I told you.
You're annoying.
Like, I knew it was going to come, because I knew you would.
But like you,
oh, little, I wish I was there so I could hug you. I like bear hug you.
you like surprising me for my birthday.
Oh, I'll have to put the footage in here now. Oh, you're gonna get me too. Stop. Okay, no, it's okay. We'll let it out. Let it out. Let it out.
I didn't cry the day of, so it's okay.
Oh yeah.
So I can cry now.
Yeah.
But that was so special. I just haven't felt like that in a long time. Makeup was cute.
I know. That's why I said, girl. I hope this was. I think I put waterproof on.
You're annoying. But it was just really special. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because
look at that partner in crime too. Like, I just love you guys. Okay.
It was really special because I've just been going through so much.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're one of the people who like tries to see, you know, like you don't just like take the facade that I put on. Right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You don't.
I'll let you think. I'll let you think that all day. I'll be like, oh, she and her thing. Okay, we're gonna wait till she's ready to cry.
Because I have to be right. Like,
yeah.
I have to be strong. Like I have to. Like my survival depends on it. And so to have someone who's like, first of all, I see you. And second of all, I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm gonna give you what you need.
Yes.
Is really, really nice.
Oh, you're like, okay. I just love you so much. And I'm like,
I love you too.
Like, the reason I'm not crying more is because, like, I'm so happy to see you finally, like, at a place where you can, like, not only recognize the love that's, like, coming to you, but, like, accept it. You know what I mean? Because I think that's really where the tears come from. You know what I mean? Because we've always loved each other. You know what I mean? Like, we've always loved each other. It's just been, like, we finally have let each other in enough that, like, I don't need you to tell me what you need anymore. Like, I know. And, like, I'm blessed enough to be able to do something about it. Right? Like, I can't always do something about it because of distance. But, like, when I can, and, like, when God has blessed me, like, I'm about to go be that blessing for somebody else. So, like, I pulled up on you because I knew your spirit, like, wasn't good. And I was like, she is really, I was like, I don't know how long she gonna keep pretending. You know what I mean? And I was like, at this point, I'm over it. And I really was like, you know what? This was about to happen. Because I'm like, okay. And it was just, and this is why I said, like, you know, when you told me when we were together, you're like, big, you gonna get it. You gonna get it all. You just let yourself flow. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because you understand me too. So like you, like, there's not a lot of people I'm going to advice for. Let's be real. Like, I'm a pretty stubborn person. I'm a pretty independent, like, I'm gonna figure it out on my own. So if I come to you and I actually value your opinion, like, that's A1, you know what I mean? But then when you can actually give me advice that, like, makes sense for who I am, instead of, like, advice that you think I should have, like, that's another layer of friendship. Because it's like, oh, like, you know, you taught me so much too, because you're like, okay, whenever you learn something, you make sure that you teach me too. And, like, whenever I learn something, I make sure I teach you. And you were very adamant of, like, okay, we got to make sure, like, let's ask each other, do we have the space? Like, you know what I mean? Do we have the capacity right now to be there for each other? Because that's honest. Like, I mean, even think about Insecure, like, you know, all of this last season, their friendship started to fall apart because they couldn't ask each other for that space. Like, they were expecting things. They were expecting things, and then they were getting disappointed when the other person wasn't coming through. And we have gotten to a place where it's like, oh, like, before I drop this bomb on you, are you in a space that you can receive it? You know? And that was a beautiful thing too, because I wasn't. I was drowning too, and I knew like, okay, she going through it. All right, let me, like, whatever moments like of strength that I had that I could give, I would, And if that's a text message that day, shit, it's a text message, okay? You know what I mean?
Like, okay, I can only text
else
today. I can't. Be on
I
the
cannot
phone.
be on the phone. Like,
oh yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
Hell
Like,
yeah.
you just have to. And I've kind of tried, and I've even brought that into other relationships and boundaries. Was like, okay, technically, I'm not doing something that requires all my attention, but I'm doing something that I want to do, and I don't want to get out of that space to like handle this. And like, that's okay to say, because you can choose yourself. And it's like a beautiful thing that like I was able to learn from you. I was like, okay, bet. I like, not only has she already showed me that I don't have to be like this perfect person for her, but she also like allows me to not be strong. Because that's really what it is, right? Like, she's allowing me to say like, I'm not good right now without even having to say it. It's just like, nah, I really like this shit. Like, I'm here. I love you. I just don't know. Like, I don't know where I'm going to pull it out of to be there, And that's why I tell people too, sometimes sometimes just knowing that you'll just sit there, even though you have nothing to give me, is like enough. Like, because I just don't want to feel alone right now. And it's beautiful.
But that helps with our vulnerability in general, right? Like, having the ability to say, I don't have the space, or like, I can listen to you, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to actually like give anything right now. Like, maybe I'll be able to tomorrow. Like, that's me being truthful with myself, and it helps me practice that, right? Like, because I feel like I needed to do that type of thing in a safe space, right? Like, I feel safe with you, so I know I can tell you like, I'm really low today, or whatever, right? Or yo, I'm fucking hyper. Like, I need to like, I kind of need to talk to you, right? Or like, whatever it is, like to figure that out, because again, both of us have never had the space,
bro. We just
examine.
Need space.
Like, I've never been able, like, me and my mom are finally to a place where I can tell her, like, girl, I can't handle that today. You know what I mean? Like, I know you're going through a lot. I know you need me to be your therapist right now. I know. But I don't have it. Like, I can't, like stuff like that. Like, just me. Like, I needed that practice somewhere else. To then be able to do it more in my life. But it's still really hard, right? Like,
oh yeah, because that's you got decades, girl, of like, you know what I mean? Like, hold on, I work on boundaries with, and what we're basically, the language we're using is we're explaining what boundaries are, because we never had them, they didn't exist. So even having a word called the boundary, you're like, what the hell is that? Like, we knew it, like, we said don't color outside the lines. There's a line that's a boundary, but no one ever explained that concept in your personal life, because as kids, that's another thing for me, especially, is that like, I'm very particular about how people treat children, because I'm like, they're still people. They're little people, but they're still people. And like, you don't get to invade their space all the time. Like, just like you get annoyed when they invade yours. So it's kind of this thing that I'm like, thank God we learned this lesson, because when I have my kids, they gonna be straight. Like, are you in a bad mood today? That's okay. You go in the corner. That's fine. You don't have to interact, and like, whatever the case is. But man,
absolutely,
boundaries are life-changing. They're beautiful. They are beautiful.
They are.
So that was kind of, I feel like we did a good job. I feel like we covered a lot. And I really be telling myself, because I'm also trying to be cognizant of the boundaries I create in this space, right? Like, I'm creating this space and I'm sharing myself, right, with the world. And I'm also sharing people with the world. So I'm like, one, I got to make sure that I take care of y'all, but I also need to take care of me in this space too, where I'm not like, oh, that was a lot, and then I have like nothing left for myself. So like, I'm also trying to be very aware of those boundaries, which in the first season, I was trying to push myself in places that I was uncomfortable. and there's like a limit to that, you know, like you can go so far, but like if you leave this and you're just like 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 you have like no energy left, that's too much, you know what I mean?
Yep.
That's too much. So I'm definitely learning that. And
my dog came over. So that was dang.
I'm over here like, Luna, where you at, girl? Where you at? I purposely closed the door to my basement now because my dog keeps trying to come down here. And when I was gone, I came home to her, Luna's a her, his, but was down here, and he freaking left me a present, and I was like, oh, okay. So you are no longer allowed down here, but because you know I got white carpet, so I was definitely like, I was like, so what? We beefing? What's going on? Like, what's going on? Because you can't be doing that. Like, you know what I mean? But anyways,
he's so silly.
No, I really was mad, but like, it's over now, so it's cleaned. What I want to try to do, you know, whenever I close out any episode now, is ask my guests, what is the legacy that you are hoping to leave behind, in whatever way that sounds to you. Like, legacy can mean anything to you, you know what I mean? I know it's a bigger question, but like,
no, it's, I think what is starting to play out in terms of what I want to accomplish, or what I want, quote unquote, my legacy to be, is supporting and empowering Black women and Black femmes to see themselves and understand that they deserve to exist, and they deserve to feel love in whatever way feels good to them, in their body and their spirit. Like, we deserve to be whole, we deserve to be full, we deserve abundance. That, like, I feel like will be my legacy, in the sense of empowering and supporting and holding up as many people as possible to like see themselves, right? Like, I can have whatever I want, whatever that may look like. Like, you can't put me in a box that you want me to be in. Like, fuck that. No, like, what my body needs is what I need to figure out, and that's like my purpose, you know what I mean? Like, that's my space, and I'm in control of that. And I want everyone, like specifically Black women and Black femmes, to be able to have that space, because I just feel like we get knocked down every chance we get, right? Like, in the media, in our family, we're getting killed by everyone.
Everyone, bro. Everyone. And I have a theory on that too.
But. Right. And I can't take it anymore. I can't take the disrespect. And so I'm not allowing it. And I hope that I can support other people in not allowing it, and like provide whatever I can, whatever energy, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, whatever resources I can come up with that can support that mission, and the other folks that are, you know, helping with that. The other piece is rest. Like, I want people to be empowered to rest.
To rest. Yeah. You do not have to kill yourself. You do not have to break your back. It is okay. You tired? Take a nap. God damn.
Yes. Like, when you post this, I'd love for you to like tag with the nap ministry, and I can give you some of the other Instagrams that are doing the work around, like, capitalism is literally trying to kill us. Like, legit trying to kill us.
Yeah, they've been.
It's not okay. Like, we're not doing that no more.
No,
I'm not gonna kill myself for somebody who's not willing to show up for me.
Please, they would. They wouldn't bat an eye. You could leave tomorrow. They wouldn't even know.
No, exactly. And so
that's what I tell them. I'm like, you want me to go to do what? And I go, you know?
No, exactly.
He's like, who? Nah, not me.
But yeah, that's
beautiful.
That's the hope and the legacy that I'd like to like work on and tap into.
I'm so happy. I love that. I love it. I really do. I really do. And I just want to take a moment closing out the show to just, love on you again, just appreciate you, because I think the one thing that this whole endeavor has taught me is like people really love me. Like they really show up, because I feel like you haven't been on a podcast before. Like everyone that has come on my show like has never done it before, but like just because you guys love me, you do it anyways. Like you put yourself in like a situation that you would normally not put yourself in, and I am immensely grateful for that. And like it does not go unnoticed. Like I don't take it as a given, because you could say no, like you know what I mean, like. And so I just want to be grateful and say thank you for that, because I feel blessed to have you in my life. So like I wanted to share that, like other people can have it too, like we can do this. And I love you too. My new tagline, I think you're gonna really like this one, Little. So
man.
if you ain't already following your girl, if this episode blessed you, please like, share, subscribe, whatever, all the usual things people say. And if you are ready for your healing, come fuck with your girl. That's the new tagline.
That's cute. I like that.
Right? I like it too. Okay. I'm so happy.
We're gonna go ahead and surprise, or well, you know what? Go ahead, go off.
Surprise my little. It's her birthday. Come on. I flew in from Colorado. She doesn't know I'm here, y'all. So let's go on a ride. Come on.
She don't even recognize you. She don't.
Hey, did somebody say it's their birthday? Did somebody say it's their birthday?
Oh my god!
Did somebody say it's their birthday?
Oh my god!
Surprise!
Surprise!
I got all these surprises!
Oh my god, I'm such a surprise!
Everybody,
She's here.
Oh my god. I miss y'all. Oh, this is my best friend Ambercene.
Hi.
Happy birthday!
Thank
you. Did I do it?
Did
I get you?
Did I do it?
Did I get you?
Yes, you did. You got all of us.
Yeah, sure.
Who is hollering? Who is hollering? What is this?
I've been planning this for a minute.
Oh.
So,
Shout out.
I know I sit down.
Shout out.
are you emotional?
Yeah.
Oh, you have to do. We're recording this, guys. So.
Hey. Don't let the camera.
Yeah, I was like, something's wet. But yeah, happy birthday, Little.
Can I open this now?
Yes.
Oh my god! Shut the fuck up!
I'm sorry, I'm a horrible
I'm so good at this.
Oh.
I hate you so much.
That's okay. I love you. That's okay. I love you.
Oh.
Do I still know her or not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, pay attention.
Yeah. I had you too.
Come on!
Their birthdays. Her birthday was yesterday, so
Oh.
their birthdays are literally.
So cute. And
That's
it's
the dog you like.
And it's not.
Hey, relax.
Aww. Look at her. She's about to be emotional. There's something else in there too.
I don't want to.
There was two copies.
Yeah, there is 2 balls.
Yeah, I figured you needed a supply. You know what I mean?
I figured you needed the extra.
I just know you so well. I just know you so well. She just,
I love you.
I thought I put the other little thing in
Why
there
are you like this?
because I am. Did I not put it in there? Oh, I thought I put I had a bottle in here.
I had a bottle.
Well, I knew something was gonna fuck up. But
Yeah, there you
the
go.
was there, and it was tequila. tequila.
Hey.
I just have to. Like everything.
Yeah.
It's just showing me.
Hers was, she likes tequila too, but she likes like the silver or like the light one, and she likes the dark one. So I had like,
You mean the Blanco?
yeah. I didn't even need
This is what we've been doing all day. This is what we've been on all day.
Welcome. Woo! Now I can stop speaking.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I just keep it steady on the magic. Do my thing, I'm healing, it's fantastic. If I fall, rise automatic. You ain't known that, you know. I'm the one raise myself like a tree from the roots. West side girl, cause she lit in the coast. East side girl when she speaks to the roots. Stay 100 cause she on with the truth. Been there on struggle, know that it pass. Only going up, yeah, the pain don't last. Ooh, take off. Ooh, take off. Ooh, take off. This is take off. Shorty like Brandy, fight like Monica. What you know about her? Baby girl raising, way to the top. Shaking the world, don't expect her to stop. Purpose so great, she get what she got. Follow her step, cause she following God. What you need more, got a heart full of gold. Even at times when it's raining and cold. Ooh, she bout take off.